Hello, and welcome to the Narrowing Path, Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name is Steve Van Arston. Thank y'all for joining me tonight as we go through and do today's daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. This, of course, will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning that this will be the first time that I read it or hear it right on this podcast with y'all, so you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So, it's been an adventure. Yesterday's I loved. It was the surrender gateway. Let me get scroll to it real quick. 3 gateways of surrender. The first, the surrender of desire. Second, surrender of opinion. Third, the surrender of self. I'm hoping, and the first yesterday's was all on the surrender of desire. I'm hoping that they continue it today, and let's see where they land. So here we go. This is October 16th reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. The loss of today will add to the gain of tomorrow for him whose mind is set on the conquest of self. Let a man therefore press on courageously, heeding neither the revilings of his friends without, nor the clamorings of his enemies within. Okay. Aspiring, searching, striving, looking ever toward his ideal with eyes of holy love, day by day, ridding his mind of selfish motive, his heart of impure desire, stumbling, sometimes falling, but ever traveling onward and rising higher, and recording each night in the silence of his own heart the journey of the day. Let him not despair, if but each day, in spite of all its failures and falls, record some holy battle fought, though lost, some silent victory attempted, though unachieved. Learn to distinguish between the real and the unreal, the shadow and the substance. This is, well, it's not the second gateway that I was hoping for, I don't think, but I think this is more playing towards desire. So maybe it's a continuation of the surrender of desire. This is interesting. There was so much in there. I'm going to have to just go through this whole thing again. I mean, it's in general about aspiring and striving towards your ideal, and that includes the failings and failures along the way. This is a general understanding I got from it reading through it the first time. So let's go through this line by line now and see what we come up with. Excuse me. The loss of today will add to the gain of tomorrow for him whose mind is set on the conquest of self. Okay, so that kind of sums up the entire context of this one. Again, yes, you hear me read these for the first time right with you. So sometimes I need to put pieces back together, right? Like my first impression of that one is like the sacrifice of today, right? Like I'm going to sacrifice my selfish intentions, and that'll pay off, and that will be a blessing later on, right? That's what I first thought it was talking about, the loss of today. But no, it's talking about the battles we fight and we fail. It's talking about the growth we get from falling. Even though it doesn't feel good, I'll agree with that. The loss of today will add to the gain of tomorrow for him whose mind is set on the conquest of self. So if it's a failure in the battle of if it's a failure in the war on self to conquer self, it's still progress. And we need to remember that. So, let a man therefore press on courageously, heeding neither the revilings of his friends without, so the friends outside of us, nor the clamorings of his enemies within. He always uses words very intentionally. And I want to revilings. criticize in an abusive or angrily insulting manner. So yeah, to criticize. So the friends outside of yourself that are criticizing you insultingly because you're failing. And then let's look up clamorings. Because clamorings used to be much more widely used just 120 years ago. I guess that's not just, but shout loudly, incessantly. So just someone disturbing the peace, really. Nor the clamorings of the enemy within, which is your own mind running at you. Your own demons sparking up, your own insecurities and fears coming to the surface to read you the riot act, so to say. So let a man therefore press on courageously. So standing up and doing the next right thing, stepping forward, continuing on. Not paying attention to the friends outside, the individuals outside of you that are insulting you, or the enemies within you that are shouting your insecurities and worthless fears. Aspiring, searching, striving. Continue to be aspiring, continue to be searching, continue to be striving. Forward moving. Purpose, direction. We've talked about that quite a bit here. Forward moving, purpose, direction. Looking ever toward his ideal with eyes of holy love. So that Christ-like ideal, that righteousness, that whatever your ideal you've built, right? Your idea of whatever your idea of God is, that is what you're striving to, right? That could be your concept of what society should function like. That could be a deity. That could be Mother Nature. However you want to frame that. Excuse me, sorry, I just touched the mic with my hands. I move my hands a lot when I do these. But striving ever towards that ideal, you are always striving towards something. And for those who want to just use self, I don't know if that I'd recommend that, but unless you want to be a more spiritual self, an ideal you're striving towards, maybe that's it. Maybe that could work for you. Ever looking towards his ideal with eyes of holy love, just that knowing, that love that you need to, that's where you want to get to. Day by day, ridding his mind of selfish motive, his heart of impure desire. And this is a big thing. This is a very important thing. And it was a hard thing for me to understand, let alone think was possible, right? So that first part, day by day, ridding his mind of selfish motive, it was very difficult for me to do the right thing for the right reason, not doing the right thing because I'm going to benefit. Very different things there. Very different things. I don't do the right thing because I know I'm going to get something out of it anymore. I do the right thing because that is the right reason. And as much as possible, I don't have a thought of self anymore. Day by day, ridding his mind of selfish motive and his heart of impure desire. Same thing. Things that are self-serving, things that are not loving. And that's a lot of stuff. Stumbling sometimes falling, but ever traveling onward and rising higher. So, well, this is just simply stating we don't do it perfectly. We won't do it without a hiccup, dripping up. But if it's in the light of progress, and if it's in the light of growth, and you learn and you adapt and you change from it, you're doing fine. But ever traveling onward and rising higher. It's a step on your path to righteous living, Christ-like living. And recording each night in the silence of his own heart the journey of the day. What are we talking about here? And recording each night in the silence of his own heart the journey of the day. Let him not despair, if but each day, in spite of all its failures and falls, record some holy battle fought though lost, some silent victory attempted though unachieved. Recording each night in the silence of his own heart the journey of the day. So reflecting. This is he's talking about some quiet time. He's talking about reviewing your intentions for the day, reviewing what's occurred, reviewing the lessons learned, maybe. Recording each night in the silence of his own heart the journey of the day. Where did it take you? What did you learn? What did you need to learn? Where do you need to grow? Let him not despair, if but each day. Let me put this together. But in each day, let him not despair, if but each day. Let him not despair, if but each day record some holy battle fought though lost, some silent victory attempted though unachieved. So remember your fight. Remember the battles you're doing. Remember the things you're striving towards. Even though you might have fallen short that day. Even though this process of purification is taking longer than you wanted. Or it's not looking how you thought it would look. Because we all have a preconceived notion and idea of how this should look for us, right? Sometimes that's not how it goes. Most times that's not how it goes. So, records, in spite of all its failures and falls, records some holy battle fought, though lost, some silent victory attempted, though unachieved. All of it's important. All of its growth and striving and aspiration. And then this last one, learn to distinguish between the real and the unreal. What matters, what doesn't matter. The shadow and the substance. The distractions, really. The darkness, the ignorance, the evil, the sin, some might say. Then the substance. What matters, what you're striving towards, the spiritual way of living, that spiritual journey we take. We learn to understand what's important. We learn to understand what perspective to hold when it comes to this stuff, which I find crucially and of the utmost importance. This is a great reading today. All right. Well, it wasn't about the surrender of opinion that I was hoping for, but it was covering something else, that the journey is what we need to remember is important. We will face battles the entire way. We will face this purification process against ourselves. And we won't win every single one right away. But we continue to go forward. We continue to aim at this ideal and this achievement. And suddenly, things have changed more than we've realized. What a beautiful thing. So, all right. Well, that's it for today. Thank y'all for joining me. I really do appreciate it, and everyone that jumps on and listens. So I'm looking forward to seeing what tomorrow brings us. And until next time, thanks.